found myself smiling more.
It might be a little bit off, but okay. Hi, welcome to the long series of books and manga / graphic novels I got since I started my training as a bookseller. Disclaimer, it might look like one video to you, it's going to be a massive one, I can assure you, but let me phrase it like that, it will take me several days because I kind of want to upload this at the end of the year, or maybe like in October, I don't know. I will try to put it into multiple sections, like one is like requested manga / graphic novels, the next one is bought manga / graphic novels, then we go over with the book, and I'm not going to show you the stack at the end because it is massive. I already have my manga here and it is a large chunk, and I don't want to talk about the books because once I pick them up, I will also unbox those on camera. I will put them away immediately because otherwise my shelves might look empty, and yeah. Another point before I continue like straight into the graphic novel manga section is I do it with the best of what my memory tells me what I got, because it's been a while since April, okay? It's September and there are also a few question marks about books I bought. If it is like at the cusp time between when I was still in tubing or basically moving or started working. There are also a couple of books I don't have anymore. And I don't know if I mentioned them or not. There are just a few books which I sold because yeah, it wasn't for me. Let's start with the first graphic novel / manga. I requested basically the first month I was into work, and that is Play It Cool, guys. I asked the publisher, hey, if I could get the first volume because I liked the anime a lot and I gave it a good review. It is funny, it is living. I'm so looking forward to the next volume. If you like a little bit of comedy / slice of life, that is definitely something for you. So the second manga I requested was Darling Giving Me a Break. It's again the same publisher. I asked that several months later when I got a little bit into the routine of work already, and it is such a cute story. It's maybe short, but this one shot is heartwarming to the depth of your core. It's so beautiful. It warmed my heart. The next one, which I recently actually requested, was Let's Cast Off, which is by I think even a German artist, and I read like a little sample we had in our shop, and gosh, this one is going to wreck my heart, most likely. I can tell, but I am so looking forward to finally read it. The next manga is the one I am not sure if I requested it or if I bought it. Here is Herokura sucht nicht das Glück. Sucht nicht das Glück. It's a short but very beautiful one shot. It's amazing how much story you can fit into one volume. You can feel the shortness of it, but this is so in-depth that I absolutely loved it. Let's get into the next part. I have quite a chunk here. What I have here is Given 7. That is another manga I'm not sure if I bought once I started training or if I bought it prior, but it's a beautiful continuation of the story. The next two ones is like this kind of series. I don't know if it continues after the second one, but also like so cute. I love my nerdy kind of stories as somebody who loves video games myself. It was so cute to see just how your online friend can turn out to be your boss. It's hilarious. The next one is I Can't Stand Being Your Childhood Friend, which is volume 1 and 2. I don't know if I'm going to request the third one or if I'm just going to buy it. Das Biest des Königs is a recommendation from my other colleague. She recommended those to me. I bought them the other day because she was so intrigued with the art style of it, but also loves the story, and she's so much further into this series than I, and yeah, I just agree. It's beautiful, like the art style and the story. Really like the style of it. I saw the backside of it, and it is a little bit macabre. I am fond of macabre things sometimes. I really love how they play in the design with the dark background and those bright colors. It looks like one color, but if you look closely, you see there are multitudes of colors, and oh my god, I'm looking forward to read it. The next is something I've seen in a preview from Hayabusa's program, and that is my dear course casting vampires. I have volume 1 and 2. The third one is already out, and I might grab it. I love vampires, I love the werewolves, I love just the fantasy genre. Here are Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess manga, volume 1 and volume 11. Next manga is You're My Cutie. I just fell for the little... Like, I fell for the art style, but I also read, like, a reading sample on the website. The next is the first volume of Bungo Stray Dogs, like the regular series. I watched the anime till season 5. I have to refresh my memory though. But speaking of Bungo Stray Dogs, where is like, it's kind of like an alternative universe, and that is Bungo Stray Dogs Beast. I have the first 4 volumes. They came in double packs, and I bought both once they were released. So like one pack after another, and the thing about Bungo Stray Dogs is I really love the art style. And look at it, it's just, oh my gosh. Like, I love the regular ones, but Beast is like on another level. I just have to show you guys. So, damn. The next one is Wiedergeburt in Maidare. Die bösartigste Hexe der Welt. Wow, my accent is flopping. I fell for the art style. That is all I have to say. I fell for the art style. There are more volumes out, I think up to 4 now. And I have yet to read the rest. Like, or also get the rest. How to use a returner, and it's also all in color, and it just got my attention, and I'm looking so forward into it. I know it is going into the isekai kind of direction, but it is good. It is really good. The 27th volume of Seraph of the End. I really love the series. The funny thing is, you have like a slip thing, because like this is the cover is the same, but it looks a few of the other covers from other mangas, which are now under Crunchyroll and used to be under Kaze, look a little bit different. It's just a duology. Is Someday I'll Fall Asleep. It is such a beautiful story, and the end of it got me in tears, because there is like a twist in the story, and I did not see this coming. The next one is also a webtoon made into a graphic novel, that is Solo Leveling. And thanks to my colleague, who's been... he also wanted to get me, told me to get Blue Lock, and I might actually cave. But not this month anymore. Next one is, and I haven't finished the first volume sadly yet, is Shojin X. That is a new series by Sui Ishida, who you might know from Tokyo Ghoul. I loved Tokyo Ghoul, the manga series. The anime is like a different story. I like to watch it as like a sort of alternative universe. If you understand, you might know why. But Shojin X is like the next one, and I just, oh god, I cannot tell you, but there's something in the way Sui Ishida is like creating the stories, and this is a totally different thing than Tokyo Ghoul. Here you have a different kind of creature. Basically, they used to be humans, but due to a kind of, I call it a drug. Their appearance changed, they get superhuman strength, and also their features mold into something different. They are more than human. So far as I've read, I mean, I'm almost through, it's fantastic. Another series I bought is No God in Eden. I bought a second one with an extra short story. What can I say? It is like a nice introduction to the Omega-verse. It's just a possible way of how everything started, and it was a quick read, I must say. Another sip of tea. Welcome to the second segment of this. Books. I have here 3 piles. I have not added Percy Jackson, which is basically here, to it. So, let's unbox those 2 first. Usually I unwrap them already at work, but I brought them home because the past days it was so stressful and I was just happy to receive them. Here it is. The first one, which is from Dolly Alderton. You might know the author from this book. That is like, I think the next book of his series, or it's not like a series, but it's the next book of the Dear Dolly stories. I thought about getting the English one, but then I just requested in ARC and bought it in German. So I'm really curious of how this book is going to be, because I don't usually read a lot of spies. I don't, but I don't mind reading it. And dun, da, 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 it's Icebreaker. Yeah, this is the German edition by Lux. So you can see there's a little bit more of a gradient when it comes to the background than to the English version, which we also have at work. But yeah, I saw it and I was like, okay, I need to get my hands on it because I really want to know what is going on. Next in the kind of romance setting is a book by Rebecca Yarros. It is a different story, which is The Things We Leave Unfinished. I heard before, I mean, I've read Fourth Wing, okay? I've read it. And I heard before already that this author is known for not having happy stories. And listen, I do like getting my heart ripped out of my chest, bleeding on the floor, just to be put back into again and then be back on the ground. Let's get to the next book. It's Tokyo Ring, I think, yeah, by Yasmin Shakarami. I'm sorry for butchering the name. I'm looking forward to read it. The thing about the bookshop is you as a bookshop also get ARCs sent from publishers. Sometimes the shop requests them, sometimes the publishers just send them to you, so that as a bookseller you get an insight into it. And sometimes you as a bookseller request for yourself some ARCs, which I also do at times. I didn't request this was already in the shop. The next one is also one which I snatched from the shelf. Better said, from before it's going to be torn out, and that is Mexican Gothic, or in German, Der Mexikanische Fluch. Another one which I found is Willardine. It's I think it's either children books, or it looks so cute. Like, come on, it's cute. Another thing is this one. I didn't know we had an ARC of that. I wanted to buy this book anyways, but I was so happy we had an ARC of that. It's Die Geschichtenwandler, by Kristen Perrin or Kristen Perrin. Yeah, no, not all publishers do it, and it is not for all books. Whereas some books where they print extra samples, they aren't always finished with editing. For example, this one, it also says this is a reading sample. That is Lucid Night. My friend read it and is waiting desperately for the next part, and I can't tell her when the next part is coming. ARC Kobe, which has been there since I started, maybe also before, is this one, Die Schneekönigin. And I think this is like kind of a retelling of The Ice Queen from Christian Andersen fairy tales, because I am a sucker for Shakespeare retellings or something which is inspired by Shakespeare. I requested this one. This is the Romeo and Juliet Society, and it came with this beautiful spread. Just it's not all over the book; it's just this part, but the three books together will form one together, and I'm looking so forward to it. That was the first. No, that was not my first. That was my first one I asked by looks, but this is like the second book I requested. That is A Night of Promise and Blood by Anna Petzold, and I am looking so forward to it. Like, I saw it in the shop and I was really thinking about buying it, but then I learned about, hey, you can request books, and this is how I got my contact to Lux, and I'm so thankful to the person who is always so kind to me and answers my emails, and I just have an exchange with. Another thing where I was like, wait, we do have an arc of that is Whiiile im Sturm of Alicia Sett, which is an author my friend really likes, like a friend I still know from university. She told me about this author and that the author was also in Frankfurt at the campus to give like a reading and like of a book, and I think she also signed it, and that was that was before I went to campus for the welcoming days, and like I was like, yeah, I'm going to buy it, and then we had it. I'm just my very first, I mean, you can already guess which book it is. My very first arc I requested since starting in the bookshop, that was basically my first month, was Priory of the Orange Tree. I got just a contact. My colleague was like, hey, those are the people you can write to from Random House. And I have a very, 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 very kind person over there who's it's incredible. So far, the people I wrote to, like, I still save their emails. I'm not going to show it. I'm not going to reveal who they are, but the people I wrote to so far have been so kind to me and be like, yeah, totally, we can do that. Like, that was, oh my gosh, it was incredible. I had to turn on the lights now because it gets too dark. Another book where I got such a nice reply to was Mythen and Sagen from DK. I even got a letter to it, and I still have it, and I don't know, this is like one of the things I need to say, which I love being in a book selling industry, is the kind people you meet, be it customers or be it people you just have contact to because you get books to review. They're incredible and patient with you. Sometimes it's, oh my gosh. So shout out to the people who work and help me on the daily, and be it my colleagues, but also the publishers I just write to and ask for books, because they are fantastic. Another book I requested is the German book of Iron Widow. I saw the spreadsheets and I was like, this is a total wing if you look at it. It plays together to the cover, and that was the same person, like I wrote to the same person who also gave me a copy of Priory of the Orange Tree. Again, I cannot thank them enough because I could cry, but I am a little bit dry inside right now. I haven't drank enough, okay? So the last one, which I picked up from our shelves, I really did pick it up from the shelves. I heard it's been a little bit longer, but is Stoneblind by Natalie Haynes. I follow her on Instagram as well because I really love Greek mythology. I generally love mythology. I grew up with my mom reading to me like from a giant book about Egyptian mythology, because my mom really loves Egypt. She is really, or she used to be very interested in the mythology stuff, and I just grew up eating that basically as a good night story. She also told me about other mythology, so I guess this is low-key a shout out to my mom for making me appreciate all of that. I have not counted them. I have not counted the arcs before. I haven't counted my manga, and I have seriously not counted my books. I just figured out that while I was talking about my arcs, hey, I forgot to include some of my board books. Let's start with the ones I'm seriously not going to grab now. That is Percy Jackson. All first 5 books. I know there's another one recently coming out. The next is like, which is also here, are the 5 books of Heroes of Olymp. I will return to my Percy Jackson era. Next is, I hope you can read it, Tales of the Greek Heroes. I don't know, I saw it, I was already back in my mythology era. I don't know, I never got out of it, but I kind of returned to it more heavily, so I also picked this up. It is, as far as I got a glance into it, it's pretty nice. It picks up popular, but I think also a little bit lesser known heroes from a Greek mythology, and kind of retells their stories. Still talking about Greek mythology, we got here a paperback of the Song of Achilles. I used to have one, but I sold mine. I also have the, I don't know where it is. It must be above here. The Illuminated edition of The Song of Achilles. I also have Circe there, but I bought it already last year. So I got myself a new one because I wanted to annotate it. And I wanted to suffer again, let's be honest. Next we have Bitterthorn. It is one of my, it is very shiny, especially with my lamp on. It's something I bought rather recently, like I think last month. I bought the paperbacks of like I bought them used from Megasty Fodder's The Raven Boys. I only got back to reading when I was like 15, and that was before Book Talk and Bookstagram got very popular. I wasn't as much on social media as I'm now. I'm turning 25 this year. It's spooky. The next one is also because I heard a lot of mixed opinions on it, and it is the first book of the Foxhole Court, and I know that this is like, I'm aware that it is problematic. The next 2 books are both by Margarita Scala. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. I'm sorry, I really butcher names. One is Tears in the Water, and the other one is a short story called By Your Side. So another book, which I didn't buy, which should have been part of the arcs, is How Do I Tell Them I Love Them? That is another book I requested by Lux, and I'm so thankful to the person I am in contact with, because it's so pretty. It is so freaking stunning. Another thing which I bought is, if this gets out, it's also when I started working, but I picked it up because I saw it and I was like, wait, is it the English edition? And I was like, yeah, it is. And I was like, another queer book in my basket. More queer story is this wonderful book by my friend Quinn, What About After. I cannot express how much I love it. I also love the design. There are so many sunflowers, and I love sunflowers. Of course I had to get it. I'm a sucker for I Fell in Love with Hope. I have indie published edition. I also started to annotate it. I didn't think I would start annotating it. I thought I would keep it clean, but yeah. Next book is I Wish You All the Best. A shorter and sweeter story for in between is Fake Dates and Mooncakes. I already have 2 versions of The Little Prince, and now I have the third one as well, and that is the Penguin Classic Edition. It's so pretty. It's also illustrated internally, like, not internally, but I mean, it has illustrations inside. The next is The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. That is the German book, and in a similar style is my The Little Prince edition. And I got to hear about it due to TikTok. I saw clips from the BBC show, and that already moved me emotionally, and I can see myself gifting this book to my mom because I am pretty sure she would love it too. The Perks of Being a Wallflower. Ryan and Avery. It is that is a funny way I bought it. Is my colleague at work was like putting her books into a shelf, and she was like, "Hey, you might like this, right?" And I was like, looking at it, I read it, and I was like, "Yes." And she was like, "What?" Like, it was not she didn't say, "Hey, go and buy it." She was like handing me this, and I was like, "Yeah, I take it with me." Bought in my early months working for a bookshop is the paperback of Godkiller. I have here the very, very beautiful illuminate edition, and I knew that I want to annotate this book, and I didn't want the sprayed edges to be like broken apart due to my annotations. Okay, the last one of my first pile is this chunker called Fourth Wing. I've read it because I had an e-arc. So the next book is something I'm not sure if it counts. I had this pre-ordered before I finished university. But this is the Waterstones exclusive edition of The Last Violent Call. Another book, once I heard is going to be out, I pre-ordered, is Never a Hero. Sophie, once again, a friendly reminder, the book thief, I bought it. The next one is Target des Lesens. Those are short stories about books and humans, so it can be about bookshops, it can be simply about the reader, it can be about the history of reading. I have no idea, I just bought it because there's a cat on it. The next edition of books I bought because there's a cat on it is this one. You can't even see the title, but the title is If Cats Disappeared from the World by Genki Kawamura. Next, because there's a cat on it, and books actually, so there's a combination of both, is The Cat Who Saved Books. Back to Rick Riordan universe / Percy Jackson world is The Sun and the Star. I even started to read it. I'm halfway through it. More Greek mythology is Girl, Goddess, Queen, and that is a book I saw by Rosie Talbot, and I don't know, I didn't know where came with sprayed edges. Yeah, To Hell with Love. It is a Persephone and Hades retelling. A little bit of a more spookier rendition of books is She's a Haunting. Another story, which is also a little bit more hauntingly scary-ish, is The Midnight Game by Cynthia Murphy. It is different spooky, is House of Horrors. The next book is a recommendation from my colleague. She loved this book a lot. A Little Life. Other books which gained recognition on the internet is Ava Reed, is Study and Drown. Next is Yellowface. I bought a new paperback edition of The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue because I have a limited edition in English and hardback, but I wanted to annotate it finally and got myself this one. I think this is actually the newer version, and I got myself the Chest of Phantoms edition, but it is so freaking pretty. I'm not going to put the covers down because I fear that my book is just going to slip otherwise. I don't know if this counts as well again, but I pre-ordered our Dark Duets. I had to cancel my one pre-order because I needed to change the address where it's going to be sent to, and that it was to me here in my new place and not my old place. So yeah, because I already have them in hardback, but for the read along I bought them in the paperbacks also so that they fit my pre-ordered copy of The Fragile Threads of Power. It's the A Darker Shade of Magic trilogy. I got myself this version of The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea. It is this one. Next is the fourth book of Before the Coffee Gets Cold, aka Before We Say Goodbye. It is the last but not least book in this story because as far as I know there are going to be 5 books in total, and yeah, I'm looking forward to reading it. I'm going to annotate the heck out of it because I know myself. I love the other 3 books which I have here and annotated a lot, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to do it for this one too. Just this time I have it fitting to the cover in pink. This is one of the books I really want to read before the year ends. The next book is a recommendation by my other colleague. I have so many colleagues, but this is the one I had a lot of late shifts with, and that is Neue Erkenntnisse des Buchhändlers. It's actually the second book of a series by Sean Byfield. Next is, because I am also a sucker for the Phantom of the Opera, is Sing Me Forgotten. Something which I also picked up early on my career as a bookseller is All the Things Left. Yeah, All That's Left in the World. I saw that and I think I heard good things about it. There's Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. Next is, and I started to read this due to Jessie the Reader. It is Dead Romantics. It's the German one though. The next is a pile of books by the same author, but those are 2 different series. One is a Young Blood series and the other one is Love Disaster series by Lee Branash. The book I started to read, that is Embers. It is the final part of Sophie's book. Remember I mentioned Sophie before, my wonderful friend. Yeah, this is the final part of the Traces trilogy. A book series where I am very sure that I'm getting this Sparrow from Traces tattooed and possibly also some quotes because it's not going to stick to just one. It's a day after the last video I made, so this is going to be fun. I got another book which I bought secondhand and I thought maybe let's unwrap it. It is this one. One book in a quintet. Every How the Doorway. It is basically a book series I've seen by Jessie the Reader, and I just wanted to get it myself, and I'm looking forward to it. It's another day. I don't know how many videos I'm going to make. Please ignore that it's not in order, but I picked those up when I was at my parents', which is the Night School series by CJ Doherty. The next thing is from David Almond. In German it's called Zeit des Mondes. And the next book which I got in a book mail is, I don't know if you can spot it, but Cruel Illusions. It's the Fairy Loot edition, and I bought it from a friend because she was clearing up some space. That came with a parcel. That is the last book in that series. Full Heart Huntsman, and it's so freaking pretty. Like, look at it. This is so freaking pretty. I bought 2 manga, so volume 1 and volume 2 of Lonely Castle and the Mirror. The last book is Red River Lane. That is the first one of a short story collection of stories based on Red River Lane, which is like a street where lots of different kind of really strange things happen. Perfect for spooky season, or better said for Halloween season if you look for something more thrilling yeah.
Found myself smiling more. The moment you leave, I feel down again.